Our next guest is an Oscar-nominated actress you know from shows such as The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, as well as movies like Joyride and Everything Everywhere All at Once. She received a Tony nomination for her performance in The Rocky Horror Show, which is playing on Broadway at Studio 54. Please welcome to the show, Stephanie Hsu, everybody. I'm so happy you're here. I saw you on stage, but I did not meet you after the show.
Wait, you saw me on stage?
I did.
I came down to come find you, and I thought you were gone.
Well, I'm gonna say something. I hung around for a long time.
Okay, so famously, when I knew I was doing this show, I was like, you know, I've been on Broadway before, and Broadway is very, very hard. And if I'm gonna do Rocky Horror, if I'm not feeling like it's a drag show, then I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So it takes me a long time to get out of drag. So I never get to meet anyone because by the time I'm like wiping everything off, everyone's gone.
Now, by the way, you're fantastic in the show, but everybody in the show has crazy costumes on.
This is true.
And they all came out to say
Okay.
hi.
Well, I do run late also.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Well,
that's great. But now this is even better.
This is
Here, by the way, just to let people know, there's a real outfit involved.
Yes.
This is also, this is a show, the source material. People care so deeply for it.
Yeah.
It was so exciting to go to the theater. There was such a, I don't know, the face, it was like vibrating with people's expectations. And you do have a show where people yell out lines from the film.
Yes.
And do you guys like it?
I like it now.
Yeah. Okay.
At first
Now is a funny qualifier.
I know, I am not press trained.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like it now. In fact, sometimes like I miss them when the call-outs don't happen.
Right.
We're kind of like, the funniest thing that Luke Evans did one night actually, because usually when he introduces Brad, you say, ass. And then when you introduce Janet, you say,
Yeah, they know.
correct. And one night, no one said anything, and then Luke Evans said, wake up! So now we like it.
It's great. Yeah, it was funny. Our friend Rachel Dratch, who's in the show and fantastic, she was saying the same thing, which is, obviously every Broadway cast is familiar with the idea that different audiences some will be better, some will be worse, but like you guys actually have an audience that becomes part of the show.
Yes.
So it must be strange on the few nights where they're a little bit quieter.
Yes, I just need to pause and say how cool is it that we get to say our friend Rachel.
Our friend Rachel
our
Dratch.
friend
What
that
a
we share,
life
Rachel
we're living.
Dratch.
What a life we're living. This is not your first Broadway show. You mentioned you've been on Broadway before.
I have.
And this was SpongeBob, the SpongeBob musical.
That was my Broadway debut.
And by the way, this looks like it could be a scene in Rocky Horror.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I'm playing a computer here. Karen, the computer.
Yeah.
Maybe also a slut. I don't know.
No way of knowing.
Yeah, no way of knowing. Yeah.
Is it fun to? Were you excited about the idea of being back on Broadway, having done it?
I was. I had to hem and haw a little bit because, as John was saying too, it's no joke.
Yeah.
And it's very grueling, especially doing a musical. But doing it this time around and with the show Rocky Horror and with Sam Pinkleton, our director, and this incredible cast, it's really like helped me fall back in love with music again. And it's been really, really healing and joyful.
It's such good music in this show as well. It feels like being at a rock concert.
Yes.
And but Time Warp, which is I think maybe the song that most people know, you don't get to sing.
I don't.
No, in the show, but you did get to sing it at the Tonys.
I did.
And that's our friends. Matt Rogers and Bowen Yang, who you've known since college.
Yes, we have known each other doing weird things like this since college, for sure.
How did you meet them right away in college, Matt and Bowen?
We pretty much met in the beginning. Yeah, we did improv and sketch together.
Gotcha.
Me and Matt were in the sketch group, and then Bowen was in the improv group.
You had a sketch called Moose, though. One of our producers had seen your sketch work.
Yes.
He's a friend of yours.
Yes, it's
What was
also a
Moose?
friend that we share.
Yes, we share Henry. Yes.
Moose was just basically a bunch of bros hanging around talking about Moose and all the things that Moose can do. And then Moose comes out and is like a cute girl in a polka dot onesie.
Yeah.
Obviously me.
Yeah.
Moose.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I think I bite someone's head off. I think that was. I think the punchline was like. Then I like really cause a lot of harm.
I think that's still okay
Yeah.
even today. You're allowed to do that.
Yeah, exactly. That one's
Moose is
okay. Yeah.
in the good.
Yeah.
Susan Sarandon originated this role
Yes, she
that you
did.
played
Legend.
in the film. Had you met Susan? Have you met her since?
Yes, so we met actually like the first day I met the entire cast. I ran into Susan at a play opening, and I was like, "Hi, I'm sorry, I never do this, but you know." And she looked at me and she's like, "You're about to be me," and I was like, "I am." And then she came to opening night as well, and
my
she
God.
seemed to have loved it. And she's amazing. She's a legend, you
She
know?
is, yes.
Yeah, and so it feels kind of like, it makes me nervous to even talk about, because it's like I get to somehow continue to walk in her footsteps, and that's just something I never really thought I would be able to do. So
Well, you do an excellent job at it as well.
you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
But you had not, absolutely. True story that you had not, before you signed on, you had not seen the film.
I was a virgin.
Yeah.
Yes.
That must have been very exciting to watch it for the first time and realize how fun the source material was.
Yes, it was amazing. It was so erotic. It was one of those things where I was like, gosh, if I had just found this when I was, 17, my life would have been completely different. And
Yeah.
who I thought I could be probably would have started a lot sooner.
Yeah.
But I always like to joke that honestly the midnight showings were so late. It's kind of why I left comedy. It's like late night, not for me. I'm like, even sometimes on Broadway when our shows are at 9, I'm like, whew, okay, But it's amazing.
I
And
love that you're like, do you want to go to a midnight showing Rocky Horror? They're like, is there a matinee?
Yeah, is there a matinee midnight?
I would love to go to a matinee,
Yeah.
maybe. People would yell less.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You also you have a couple of animated shows coming up. That must be nice a little bit, because then you don't have
Yes.
to dress up and everybody knows how long it takes you to get out of your costume.
It's perhaps the ultimate drag, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
Because someone's just drawing a whole other version of you.
All right, so Steps. What Steps?
Steps is a reimagining of the Cinderella stepsister story.
Okay, great.
Amazing. In Waves. All 3 are going to be on Netflix.
All 3?
I know. Yeah.
Very
can you believe it?
exciting.
Very exciting. Steps is super, super funny, and In Waves is a story about kind of a love story, coming of age story set in the world of surfing. And it's pretty heartbreaking, but also very inspiring. It's
Great.
one of the heart tuggers.
Yep.
And then a series called Dang. That's,
Look at that.
just coming out.
That's fantastic. And
Yeah.
what was your first? Do you remember your first school play?
Ooh, my first school play. Actually, okay, so in high school, the first thing that ever, because I played basketball. I'm a basketball girly.
I think we all.
Well, now we all are.
I think the minute you walked out, we all thought that.
Yeah, couldn't you tell? So yeah, basketball was my first love, and it took me a lot to even join theater because
So
I would have to
how
quit basketball.
I want to get to your play, but like where? So you were like you played basketball. You loved it with all your heart. Were you
Yes.
like somebody who watched basketball as well?
I grew up outside of LA, so I was like
Okay.
Lakers baby,
Yep,
like
gotcha.
Kobe Shaq era, have a deep relationship with the Spurs, which was very convenient this year
Yeah.
with the Knicks.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so
Were you a ball handler? What were you?
a ball handler?
Well, you were a point guard.
Ball handler.
Oh my God!
A person
I'm sorry.
handler?
Just
A
because you're in
point-
Rocky Horror doesn't mean everything is a double entendre.
I handled the ball. I was a really good perimeter shooter. because
Interesting, okay.
I'm so tiny that nobody would ever block me or
Okay,
like
got
play
it.
defense on me. So I would just totally like milk the 3-point line and then sometimes like sneak attack.
This is great. Do you ever hoop now?
I don't ball handle or hoop.
I'm sorry,
now.
I said ball handle.
Yeah, I don't hoop currently,
Okay,
especially
gotcha.
not on Broadway because if something bad happens,
That's
it's
true,
like
that's
the
true.
end.
So you are a basketball player, and then how do they lure you to the stage?
So the seniors get to do, or in high school, the seniors got to direct a like student play every year, and freshmen never get in. And they were doing a student adaptation of Airplane, the movie.
Oh, well, there you go. There
Yes.
you go.
So I got, I
And
got
with
really
that,
into
were you I mean, again, because that's from a previous era to you, but were
Yes.
you hip to Airplane and you were like, oh my God, I know that movie. I think that'll be so fun.
Yes, I think when you're that age, you can't like conceive of an adaptation. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, they're just gonna do the movie on stage. Cool, but I loved Airplane so much. So it was very fun. I played one of the Girl Scouts. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
had a stage kiss. It was my first stage kiss.
Oh my God, that's very exciting. How did your family feel when you transitioned from basketball to the stage?
My mom has always been confused of my existence.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
She's like, you know what? I have to say, neither makes sense to me.
Yeah. Well, she really, when I was younger, she really wanted me to play the piano.
Okay.
But it was like as a point of discipline. I don't know if there's any other Asian people in the audience.
So she wasn't like, I feel like you have music in your heart and I want to help you get it out.
No, it
Okay.
was like, you play the piano like you play math. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was like, okay. And so there was some like Asian mafia thing happened, and they got me this piano teacher who like was, you know, the real deal, and she taught a lot of people who were like prodigy piano players. That wasn't me. And so I got fired by her.
Oh, you didn't fire the teacher. The teacher
No,
fired you?
She fired me, which was really sad because the only reason why, and I'm sad because now, gosh, if someone had taught me music or piano from a place of like, look at this beautiful instrument,
Yeah.
tra la la la, the sounds you could make, maybe I would have, you know, started my love affair with music sooner. But because it was a place of discipline, I think I didn't like to be controlled in that way. But she also bred bunnies. And so she gifted me my first ever pet, which was a bunny.
Was it like a parting gift? Like, you're fired?
No, it was before.
Oh, it was before?
Manipulative,
And
actually.
when she fired you, did she ask for the bunny back?
She did not ask for
Okay,
the bunny, but
gotcha.
I was very scared because I was like, that's my bunny hookup.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, she fired me and she left a voicemail, and I remember being, you know, hovering over the little voicemail box,
Yeah.
pressing play, and her just being like, it's not it. I don't know. And I was like, oh, but the bunnies, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
it all worked out.
It did work out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you lost your bunny hookup, but
okay.
you know, the rest of us have benefited from
Yes.
where your career has taken you. And it is so nice to meet you, and thanks so much for being here. You guys, look at that. It's Stephanie Hsu. Rocky Horror Show is playing at Studio 54. We'll be right back.